Hey everyone, so today we are going to look at making a Scratch program for a two-planet solar system. Basically, we're going to be doing Earth and Mars. What I've done already is I've already renamed um, or named my file, my project, and I called it Two-Planet Solar System. And I've also gotten rid of the cat. I just clicked on it and deleted it. So we need to find some sprites, so we're looking for some planets. Okay, so we can scroll through and see what we can find. We have an Earth, that's good. We need an Earth. And let's see what else we have. I don't see anything. I see some round stuff, but that won't work for us. So there's Saturn. I see the Sun. And I don't see Mars, I don't see planets under P. Okay, so we'll pick the Sun. And we need to find a Mars. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to upload, because so here's how it works with the sprites. You can upload an image, and that's where you do it, right? But first we have to find an image to upload. Okay, and upload only means taking it from basically from your computer into Scratch. So now, I bet you, yeah. So we're going to look for Mars. I'm going to search, and we're going to look into images, and I'm going to pick the first one because it looks fine to me. And I'm going to right-click. And I'm going to save the image as, and now this comes up, and these are all the files on my computer, right? All the main files, and it's suggesting that it goes into downloads, and that's fine. It's easy for me to find it when it's in the downloads, okay? And that's what you have to do. So wherever it wants to put it, that's fine, as long as you can find it later. And in most cases, when you go to upload a file, Scratch will already look for the pictures, the JPEGs, which is that, okay? And that's what you want to look for when you're saving the files. Make sure it has that. If it doesn't say JPG, actually there's a few other files that work, but it's just a trial and error. So I'm going to save it. There we go. Now I'm going to get out of Google and back into my program, and let's hope it works. So I go over to the sprites, and now I want to upload a sprite, and if I click on it, it will open up the files, right? And it's like, oh, there's nothing there. And so if I scroll up, sure, because the file hasn't been picked yet. So I remember it went into downloads. So I'm going to click on downloads, and sure enough, there it is. And I didn't even change the file name, I just kept it however the computer wanted to copy it. So if I do this, and I do this, it's importing it, and it is huge. Like, it's bigger than huge. It's all over the place. Okay, and so we need to make, obviously we need to make it smaller. So let's start by making this one smaller. But the first thing you might think about is I might need to get rid of this background. But when you consider what we want as our background, we want to have stars and black space and that sort of thing. So we might just leave it, okay, as it is, because it actually might be fine. But let's just make it smaller to start. Let's just go really small. It's at 100 now. We'll do 25. Okay, that's good. We'll leave it at that for now. It probably should be smaller than that, but everything is just a little too big here. Let's start with the Sun. So I have to click down here. Let's do the Sun maybe 75. Let's see. Yeah, that's probably pretty good, I guess. And now we've got to click on the Earth because it has to be much smaller because it's much smaller than the Sun. It's 100 now. We're going to go down to 25. Let's see how that works. It's pretty reasonable. Let's make the Sun just a little smaller, just so let's make it 60 maybe. Yeah, that's pretty good. So the Sun, remember, should be at the middle, right? It's kind of at the middle of our solar system. So we need to put it at 1, 1, or 0, 0. Sorry, the X is 0 and the Y is 0 down at the bottom. So X is 0 and y is 0. There we go. Done. That's in the middle. And this one is about the right size, and Mars is bigger than the Earth, so we do need to work on getting it smaller. Let's say 25 now. Let's go down to 20. I think maybe even a little smaller than that. Let's do 15. Okay, so it's bigger than the Earth. That's a reasonable size, I guess. So now we need to do a background. We need some space. So let's see what we have. Sorry, I should. So our new background. So right now it's just a plain background. There's nothing there. So we go over to where it says backdrops, right? And if you hover over this and you press the magnifying glass, you can choose whatever you want. There is a space section, and here we are. There is the sort of some kind of solar system. I'm not sure what it is, but there is one that says stars, and I kind of like that one. That's almost perfect. So now we need to code the Earth and Mars. So let's code the Earth first. Now, the trick is when you code something to go around a circle, it's not going to be a perfect circle. So the way it's going to work is it goes, it walks forward and then it turns on an angle. It walks forward and it turns on an angle. It walks forward and it turns on an angle. And it keeps doing that, right? It walks in a straight line for a little bit, then it goes on an angle. Walks in a straight line, turns on an angle. Walks in a straight line, turns on an angle. Okay, so it walks ahead maybe, I don't know, 80 steps maybe, and then it turns 1 degree. Walks more, turns, walks more, and then when it does it all the time, you don't really notice that it's actually doing this, right? It's constantly going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It turns out to be fairly smooth. We'll show you what I mean. So let's do the Earth first. So we need to start it all off. We need a flag, okay? And it won't be very long, so we can kind of put it in the middle. And so this has to go around forever and ever and ever until we press stop. Okay, so we're going to be using a forever loop, which is in control. So we go into forever, right? And now we want to turn and move, turn and move, turn and move, turn and move. So we'll go into motion, turn and move. There's our move, right? And we want to turn and move, turn, like this. Okay, so that's going to go on forever. Turn and move, turn and move, turn and move. So if I press start right now, let's see what happens. Okay, so it's kind of wonky, right? It's going really fast. It's not going around the sun, and yeah, it's just all wrong right now. So let's so in order for it to go around the sun, we want it to always, when it turns, we always want it to turn towards the sun when it's going around its circle. Okay, we want it to turn, we want it to go to the sun, go to the sun. Every time it turns, go to the sun, go to the sun. Okay, go to the sun. Now, so we want to go into, hang on a second, I need to find it first. It is in motion. Go to, there it is right there. Go to right here. Okay, so it's in motion. I want to go to, put it in there. I want to go to the sun. Now here it says random position, but if you click down, it will list the sprites that you have already. It'll do the mouse pointer, which is this. Right now it's in random position, and we can do the sun. Okay, because we want it to go to the sun all the time. Every time it turns, we want it to go to the sun. So now if we press green, okay, so we're on the right track. We just don't want it circling or rotating or orbiting inside the sun. Okay, so let's see. So we want it to go farther, right? That's for sure. So let's increase the number of steps it takes in a straight line to maybe 50. Okay, let's try that. Okay, we got the right idea. Now we're going way too fast. So it's it's making huge turns in the degrees, right? So we need to make the degrees a little fewer. So let's go in half. Let's say 7 degrees. Okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, so we're going slower. We're on the right track. So the less the angle of the turn, the slower it goes, right? Because it's not turning as much, right? Not turning as much as it goes around. So we will have to go slower even. Let's try maybe 3 degrees. Let's go even slower. Let's try that. Okay, I think we're on the right track here. So now we need to go out farther, so we need to step out farther, right? We need more steps in between. Right now we're only going 50 steps straight and then turning, 50 steps turn, 50 steps turn. We want to go farther and then turn, farther and then turn. So let's stop and let's double it. Let's do 100. Okay, let's see what that does. See, there we go. That's better. That's actually pretty good. Not too far out. Maybe it's a little too far out, a little too fast. So maybe let's go a little shorter. Let's try 90. Okay, I think that's better, and I think it's a little too fast still, so let's slow it down to 2. That's pretty good. Okay, let's see if this will work. So now we need to do Mars, right? And as you can see, it's not bad. What you can do is, and I'll show you how to do it in a minute. You can fine-tune the color on this as well. Okay, so we're going to try to do the same thing as we did in the Earth, but we're going to do it on Mars now, right? And we want 2 degrees and 90. So since Mars is on the outside, it's going to be, this is going to be bigger, right? Your steps are going to be much bigger. Okay, and I think let's make the Earth just a little bit smaller, because I'm afraid we might run out of space. Let's see if that's better. Yeah, I think that's better. That'll give us more room to go around. Okay, I like that. Let's go even slower. Yeah, that looks better. Because if you recall, Mars, for every time the Earth orbits the Sun once, Mars has orbited it twice. Okay, so this is good. This is good for Earth. Now let's go into Mars. So same thing. We need a flag to start, right? And we need the forever loop because we're going to go forever, right? And we need to turn and move. Right, turn, move, and we need the go to, right? Because we want it to go to the Sun, because they're orbiting around the Sun. There we go. So you can see how you could add another sprite, and you could actually have a moon orbiting around Mars as well, okay, or moon orbiting around the Earth as it turns around. You just have to, when you do the moon, you just have to say go to the Earth, right, and it will orbit around the Earth. Okay, so let's see. Our Earth was about 70 steps, so we want Mars to be more steps, right? Because we want the orbit to be bigger. So let's start off with 100. And the angle, Earth, I think we had a 1 degree angle, a 1 degree turn. Let's try 3 degree turn, so it doesn't turn, so it turns a little more, right? Because it's going to go a little faster. Because remember, it goes around twice as fast. Let's do 3. Let's see how that works. Okay, so we're a little too close. We need to go farther out. So in order to go farther out, we need to have more steps, right? We need to walk more, right? Walk more in distance in a straight line. So if we stop, we need it to go maybe, let's try 120. Let's try 110. See how that works. And if we go, let's see, might be not quite far enough. Yeah, We're running into it. So we need to go 120 maybe. 120. Okay, let's see. And yeah, it's pretty good. I think just to be safe, we'll go bigger. Let's try 130, see what that does. Remember, it's not to scale. It's just a representation of the Earth and Mars orbiting around the Sun. That's all. That looks pretty good. So actually, let's see if this works. So let's see. So if I, right now, that's where the Earth was once, and here it comes around twice. That's pretty good. So Mars is going around twice as fast as the Earth. So it looks like we've got it. Now, the only thing I'm not liking, and I don't know if I want to change it, is this black border around Mars. And so I'll show you how to change it. So we've got it's selected. Okay, we have it selected right here. So we need to go over into costumes, and there's our Mars right there. Now what I'm going to do, just to be on the safe side, is I'm going to duplicate this. Okay, I'm going to copy it right now, so I have a backup. Just in case, whatever I do to this, if I don't like it, okay, then I can always use my backup instead. Okay, in terms of the costume. So this one we will call Mars 1. Mars 1. And this one we will call Mars 2. There. Okay, that's good. And now if I go back into code and I start it, I'm not sure why I didn't change that, but that's okay. So you can go into paint, and you can paint it white to get rid of it, or you can try to paint it to this color right here. And now for me, this is uber difficult because being somewhat colorblind, I'm going to try this, and maybe right there. Yeah, maybe like that. I don't know. We'll go a little darker. Yeah, that looks good. We'll try that. And now so when you paint it, it does that. Okay, like you can click on it, and it will actually paint as much of it as it can, but you can make your line that you paint with a little bigger, right? I'm going to actually make it a little. I'm going to go down and make it a little smaller. Maybe 5. So if I go like this, no, I want to make it a little bigger. I'll make my picture a little bigger. See what I've drawn basically there, right? So I'll make my brush maybe up to 10. Let's see what happens. So if I click my mouse down, right, I can draw a line across like this. Right, and I can do the same thing here. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just clicking and unclicking. Right? I'm going to make it bigger even. And there we go. And what it does is it paints in a straight line. So you have to kind of go like this. It's not going to be perfect. It'll be not bad though. Right. Let's do it all around. I don't know what's worse, this or black. This might be the wrong color, but you'll get the idea. Okay. And worst case scenario, we just use the other one. Alright, so you have to hold your mouse key down, go across, and then hold your mouse key up, and that's what it does. Okay. I'm just going to go, you can see it right there, that's the size of the paintbrush. Right, and it doesn't curve, so you have to go straight lines all the time. Okay, do a little bit down here. And keep going. I don't want to spend too long on this, because I'm not even sure if it's going to be the right color or not. It's probably not dark enough. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm going to make it smaller. So you can't go beyond this line because that's the actual picture. Right? That's what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that. There we go. So we're saved. And you can actually see what color it is over here. Alright, and I think probably should have gone a little darker. Let's see, one corner. Oh, it'll turn out. Yeah, I think this is a better color. Okay, but anyway, this is what you have to play with, right? And then because you can see it's changing over here. All right, so I'm just kind of going outside the lines, but that's not too bad. I'm just trying to save a little bit of time. Okay, so we'll leave it like that so you can kind of see how this all works. There, and that's fine. So let's go back to the code, and let's see, how does this look? Yeah, so it's dark up there and it's light down there. So you know what? It's very hard. You have to pick kind of a neutral color. But this is fine. This is all we want to really do. It doesn't matter. It's more the movement than the color that we're looking for, right? So I would do this. I would pick the second costume and leave it at that. Right? I would just leave it black. So if you go back to this one, it will automatically change over to that. Right? Go back into code and see how it's black now all around it. I would just leave it at that for now. Okay, and that's it. That's all there is to it. So that's how you create a simple 2-planet orbit. Okay, there you go.